administration that President Trump would send troops to places like California if there were protests that needed to be quelled. In fact, most of his answers throughout this hearing today, at some point or another, were critical of the Biden administration and praising the current administration under Donald Trump. One of the things that he was pressed on repeatedly by a number of different congressmen, those in Clay, was asking for some specifics about this deployment of now more than 4,000 National Guard and at least 700 Marines. Here was an exchange with one of the Democratic congressmen, Congressman Aguilar from California.
How long will the deployment last? We stated very publicly that it's 60 days.
Why are you sending war fighters to cities to interact with civilians?
Every American citizen deserves to live in a community that's safe, and ICE agents need to be able to do their job.
Notably there, he did not deny that the military could be interacting with civilians there. Guys?
Courtney QB on Capitol Hill. Thank you.
A California-based egg company is voluntarily recalling nearly 2 million packages of a dozen eggs over potential salmonella contamination. The Food and Drug Administration says eggs were distributed by August Egg Company to stores in the Midwest and Western U.S. The FDA says this recall is associated with an ongoing salmonella outbreak investigation. The CDC says more than 70 salmonella cases are linked to this outbreak. And it's not just eggs right now. Separately, the FDA says cucumber products from Florida-based Bedner growers have been recalled. The products were distributed along the East Coast. Joining us now is NBC News medical contributor Dr. Natalie Azar. Dr. Azar, good to see you. So if somebody's hearing salmonella, eggs, cucumbers, how do they know if they might have been affected by this? What are the symptoms?
Yeah, well, so Kate, as a gastrointestinal illness, people will experience diarrhea, crampy abdominal pain, fever, maybe even some nausea and vomiting. The symptoms usually begin around 6 hours, but up to 6 days after exposure. And most people will recover within a couple of days, up to a week, without needing really medical intervention, just staying at home and taking care of yourself and remaining hydrated.
And we know it's possible to recover, as you just said, but what are the signs that you maybe do need more medical care?
Yeah, absolutely. And so again, generally most people who are not very young or older and not immunocompromised should do quite well, but some signs or symptoms to be concerned about would be diarrhea that's associated with a fever of 102 or greater, having persistent severe diarrhea for 3 or more days, certainly bloody diarrhea, and any signs or symptoms of dehydration, not urinating as much, if your baby isn't making tears, the mucous membranes of your mouth are no longer moist. That's concerning, and dehydration is one of the biggest things that will land people in the hospital and things that you should look out for.
Yeah, and just quick, any way to protect yourself in the kitchen when you're cooking? Like if you cook the eggs, is that a better idea?
Yeah, and that's the thing. With eggs, you're a little bit better off because you can cook them to an appropriate degree as opposed to fresh fruits and vegetables, which of course you can't. You're only hand washing them, but obviously washing hands frequently and making sure that you're avoiding cross-contamination in the kitchen is super important when handling any kind of raw meat, raw poultry, which is a big thing that's implicated in salmonella transmission.
Okay, Dr. Natalie Azar, keeping us safe. Thank you.
And still ahead, we'll stay on your health. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says major changes are coming to the